Guys, welcome back to the Hacktivist Mechanic channel. Very excited to show you my new project, as you can see behind me. So in my best Doug DeMira voice, this is a 1999 E55 Amg sedan. I purchased this yesterday, and in true Tyler Hoover fashion, this is the cheapest running and driving E55 Amg in the country. Yes, I found ones that are cheaper, but not running and driving. Make no mistake, this is a hoopty though, and I'm going to show you why. It's in the correct color of black. It features the monoblock wheels. And so we're going to be doing a lot of things to this car, fixing it, driving it. I don't know if I'm going to daily drive it, keep it for a while, or I'm going to sell it. I'm not really sure. We're going to kind of get into it, fix some stuff, see how much it's going to cost us, figure out if it's worth keeping or worth selling. So let's take a tour of the car. All right, starting with the exterior of the car. Again, it is in black, which is my favorite Mercedes color. These are usually silver or black, especially the AMGs. And it also has the AMG exhaust down there, which you can see. Now, this is a Texas-owned car, so there's no rust that I've found, which is a good thing because that's one of the problems with this car. The wheels are all in somewhat decent shape. There might be a little bit of stuff here, but I think overall they're in pretty good shape. You can see around the back, you know, the paint. This paint looks a little bit, you know, needs some wet sanding or something here compared to here. So something going on with that. So, you know, the back end is pretty good. Not too bad, but we got some few issues. We have a really long scratch here. Looks like kind of a key scratch, runs all the way down. Let's go to the real issue with this car, and that would be the hood. So take a look at this hood. This paint is completely gone. Looks like it's been baked in the sun here in Texas. So this is going to require a repaint. You'll notice the lights are super foggy and cloudy, so we're going to redo those. This bumper, and I've been told that this bumper is very hard to find. I do have the extra piece that goes here. It will need to be painted, but you can see we've got a lot of rock chips. There's a little bit of, I think, kind of dent. Looks like there was scraping over on the left side. So again, not great, but you know, something we can deal with. Moving on to this side, there is some bubbling I saw here. So we're gonna have to try to find somebody to paint and maybe, ooh, that coming off right there, sort that out. So paint is gonna be a big issue with this car. Now let's open the interior. Again, it's gonna be some issues. First, let's take a look at the leather. It is not in very good shape. So you'll see lots of cracking, lots of rips. Passenger side, kind of bad. The rear is not too bad, just dirty. But we're gonna try to clean this first. So I've got a couple of methods I'm gonna try with magic erasers and some simple clean that I saw some YouTube videos. So we're gonna start that first and see if we can't clean this up. Let's hop into this cabin. Now here's the best part of this car. 90,000 miles. I don't know if you just saw that, but this car only has 90,000 miles. You'll notice the steering wheel here severely discolored. That's very dirty. We'll clean that. Couple other things notice. Ignition thing pretty loose here, so we need to fix that. This middle thing obviously doesn't match these, so somebody probably would try to replace that with the wrong one. These switches are not exactly great, so I've noticed that the windows don't go up very easily, so it might be a switch or could be the window regulator. Really, one of the weird things is that this power seat keys here, deals. When I press this forwards, it moves it. It actually doesn't do anything, but if I press it backwards, the seat goes up. So when I first bought the car, I kept trying to move this and it just kept going forward and forward and forward. So I was super scrunched in. I'm able to hit a couple of these memory buttons to get it back, but it looks like it's reversed, or we may have to unplug it, get a new one, or mess with it somehow. A couple other things. We're missing this handle. I've already ordered a new one. These vents here are pretty rusty. You can see that. So maybe need to clean that up. What else? You know, mostly it's the seats. There's a couple of spots here that, you know, we can tack that on. Headliner looks pretty decent, so not bad there. And so I've had a PPI on this car, and came out relatively clean. Some faulty codes here and there. So the SRS airbag lights on, the sensor for the passenger side. When somebody's sitting in the passenger side for the airbag, that's on. I've got a brake lamp over in the back, that's out. I've already got the bulb, but I gotta get a different one. So that was on. Windshield wiper fluid level sensor is off. And then we got to get underneath the car and kind of check that out. But it got a pretty clean bill of health. Maybe a few oil leaks here and there we got to check out, but overall, pretty clean bill of health. Let's go ahead and pop the hood here, take a look at the engine. Move my finger. So I bought this from a local kid who I think was going to do a project and just never got around to it, got too many projects. So decided it was time for me to take over. So engine very dirty. You can see missing the cover here. I'm trying to buy one right now on eBay. You know, we're missing the cap for the washer fluid, and I think one of those sensors is bad. I mean, you can see we got dust back here. We've got some leaves in here. So really just needs a good cleaning to kind of understand what's going on. I don't know when the last time the oil was changed, so we're gonna do that first, which hopefully should be pretty easy. And yeah, just kind of go through the car and see what else we need to do. So again, this car is 90,000 miles. It runs good, the brake's good, plenty of power, very happy with the way it runs. It just needs some TLC. And I've done this on a few projects before. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do, a lot of cosmetic. The big one's probably gonna be the paint. I mean, you could probably use a full-on paint. I might have to go full Hoovy's Garage and go to Mako and see what they can do for, you know, cheap. Because this car would look so much better if the paint was kind of taken care of. So, you know, we're gonna take this back to our garage. First thing I'm gonna do is probably change the oil. I'm gonna start cleaning the seats and change out the tail bulbs and just start knocking out these projects. I gotta make a list of what I'm gonna do first. But right now the car is driving good, so I'm gonna wanna get it clean so it feels more comfortable driving it. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. So I wasn't necessarily looking for a new project, especially not Mercedes. I've never owned a Mercedes, but this one kind of fell in my lap, and I told you guys about it in some of my previous videos. Let's turn this air down a little bit, where I was helping a friend try to buy a 1977 911S, and the gentleman that was selling that car down here in Dallas was also selling a few other cars, and one of them happened to be this E55. And he's like, oh, I got an E55. I said, let me look at it. You know, I don't really know anything about these and never owned one before. And so he showed it to me, and I was like, it's kind of beat up, but you know, I'll take a look. And so you know, I kind of did some research on it, and I was like, you know, these are pretty rare. These 1999s is the first year where AMG and Mercedes really kind of got married together. And they only produced this particular body style with all its special features for this 1 year, because the next year in the same W210 chassis, same engine, they changed the body kit a little bit, changed the interior. Some say for the better, but you know, for the most part, this year is the only one like it, and only a few thousand of these made it to the US. And so it's kind of a rare car to begin with, which is nice. Now I know AMG is well thought of, but for me, you know, when you're talking about late 90s, early 2000s V8 sedans, it begins and ends with the E39 M5, in my opinion. I've owned an M3 before. That was a 99 M3, actually, four-door. But the E39 M5, I think, is probably the best looking V8 ever produced. And, you know, I still stand by that. I think this car looks great, but nothing beats that. The M5 has 400 horsepower. This has 349. This does have, Jesus, I almost got in a wreck. Wow, guy pulled out right in front of me. Well, the horn doesn't work, figure that much out. Anyways, this one, 349 horsepower, 391 foot-pounds of torque. Those are great numbers. 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. You know, the E39 M5 has 400 horsepower. It's got a 6-speed manual transmission, largely more of a driver's car. But here's the thing about this car, and I've seen this on a lot of other YouTube videos talking about this car. This thing is bulletproof, okay? You know, there's no air suspension, there's no timing chain, there's no timing guides. There's just not a lot to break on this car. It was very well built. This engine alone can go hundreds of thousands of miles without even having to open it. So the M5, while beautiful and one of the better driving V8s of the same era, not near as reliable, way more expensive to maintain. You've got a Vano system, you've got rod bearings issues. If you talk about an Audi of a similar vintage V8, you've got timing chain guide issues. So again, this one way more reliable. Yeah, this is pretty beat up, but I think I got a pretty good steal. I mean, I paid $4,800 for this car. It drives great, you know, 90,000 miles. It's just kind of beat up, you know, exterior and interior. So as long as the engine's running good and I can maintain that, I feel pretty comfortable that this car will go for a long time. So again, that's what kind of led me to this car. You know, let's see, get a little power. Woo. Yeah, we still got plenty of power there. So we're gonna take this back to the garage, go through, you know, some of the issues, maybe make a list of what to do. I think I'm gonna change the oil today. I'm gonna start cleaning up these seats, try to get this light bulb repaired, and just try to get this thing, you know, a lot nicer. Talking about value, I know I said this is the cheapest in the US, and I still believe that. I did see one for $3,000, but it said the transmission was bad. So 4,800 bucks I think is a steal. One just sold on Bring a Trailer with around 68,000 miles. It was in pretty mint condition, sold for $18,000. And there's one for sale in Chicago that I recently watched a video about on Legit Street Cars. That one's listed for around 24,000. Has the same number of miles. It's obviously been completely restored. It looks very mint. But again, $24,000, and I'm way under that. So I feel pretty good about where I got in the car. If I can fix a lot of this stuff on my own, not spend as much money, that will free up some money to spend on paint, hopefully. So we're gonna go from there. I've already ordered a few bits on eBay and try to fix this thing up. So thanks for watching. I'll have some more videos when we get some more repairs and some cleaning. Please subscribe, watch all my other videos, and we'll see you guys soon.